All right, let's talk about Cam Ward, who had quite the performance here against the Seattle Seahawks. In fact, I'm just going to say he played well in this game. The numbers might not fully showcase that, although they did only lose by 256 yards, nothing to sneeze at, albeit on 42 attempts. But I thought he played a lot better than what maybe just some of these numbers would suggest. Let's talk about the success he had in this game, and then also maybe some issues that happened as well for the Titans, why they ultimately lost. First, the play you see on your screen, downfield passing. I mean, the Titans have struggled at hitting on these plays, although I would say it's not because of Cam Ward, in my opinion. It's Chimere DK who is running this route. Cam Ward's going to take the snap. It's a good route, single safety deep. Let's throw it down the field, see if we can make this work. It is not particularly open. Again, I think one of the issues for the Titans is you like a lot of these, young receivers who have kind of stepped up. A.O. Manor is a guy who has had success this season. Here it is DK, but usually having them have to be a number one option is a little tough. I think you look at New England and make that comparison. Adding Stephon Diggs has really been a big deal for them because it just allows all the young receivers to kind of not have to be a number one. Well, here, DK has to be a number one. And look, this isn't quite complete, but also look at that throw from Cam Ward. I mean, that is right on the money, right? So just because these aren't completions doesn't inherently mean it's bad, right? Doesn't mean that Ward isn't having success. You can't just look at box scores when you're trying to evaluate somebody, and that's a perfect example of that. Also, this one, Gunnar Helm, who had a nice game in this one, had 51 yards, could have had another one there. Again, perfect throw. Exactly where Cam Ward wanted to put that football, gave Helm a chance to go up and make the grab. These both would have been tough catches, but, again, it's good throws from Cam Ward, and if you get some maybe star receivers who can make these plays, all of a sudden you'll start getting highlight reel level plays from Ward instead of great plays that result in nothing. And also, we got to talk about this stuff from Ward, because this is really what you get excited about if you're a Titans fan. So it's a man coverage concept. You have a receiver going from the offense's left to the offense's right here, but there's going to be an underrated aspect. I shouldn't say underrated, but an important aspect of this play that is going to happen here. It has nothing to do with the downfield scheme. Watch how when Cam Ward takes a snap, a Seattle defender, so they had kind of this exotic, are they going to blitz, are they not going to blitz look. Because of this, the player who has to contain Cam Ward ends up rushing too far to the inside. You see how the right tackle is pushing him more towards the inside. And the Titans offensive line, to their credit, will notice this and will kind of take advantage if they see something like this. Hey, if someone's trying to get pressure to the inside as a contain guy, let him try it, because watch what Cam Ward's going to do. He notices it. He slips out. Now he has all the time in the world to find an open receiver. They pick up a big completion right there. That was DK who makes the play. Again, DK, good player. You would just like to have maybe him be able to just simply play his role, because he can do a very good job at that. But that's just a great Cam Ward play. Also, this is kind of ridiculous. So this is a 2nd down and 9. You see these types of plays from Cam Ward. I don't fully know what to make of this. Watch how Ward's going to take the snap. He's going to ultimately step up in the pocket eventually once nothing gets open. He kind of runs into his own offensive lineman, and also a defensive lineman is taking him down right here. So, okay, well, clearly a sack, right? No, watch him while getting tackled find a way to get a first down out of this play. I mean, if he just threw that one incomplete, that would have been impressive. He got a first down here. So again, the question is how repeatable is something like this, and I have no idea, but ultimately I would say these types of plays, for the most part, are working with Ward. Like this one's another one where this is also weirdly a repeatable play. So 9 minutes left, down 13. Titans need a play right here on 3rd down and 4. They'll probably go for it if they don't convert. But Cam Ward takes a snap, and immediately there is some concern right here, pressure off the edge, and not giving up containment. So there's an issue. However, watch this move by Cam Ward. There were Kyler Murray comparisons. You can see that. This is crazy though. I pause it right here. Look at how he is making this throw. I mean, he's getting tackled 2 steps away from the sideline, going to throw it back over the middle of the field. And over here you can see why. It's Xavier Restrepo who is making the catch. Sorry if I mispronounced that name, but nice route by him to get open. But that's a ridiculous play from Cam Ward, and he's done this a couple of times this season. So again, these are kind of the special things that got him drafted 1st overall. And even on a much more simple level, something like this, 3rd down and 5, they're down 20 at this point. They did have a nice comeback. Watch as when Ward takes the snap, again, looks up, could throw a check down, but the check down's not going to get you to first down right here. So Ward wants to, wants to let the play develop a little bit more. Of course, you see there's pressure off the edge, and it's pressure off the edge from the left tackle. And this is just one of those things where some guys can feel this and some guys can't. And I don't really know what the difference is. I don't know if it's just guys have better peripherals, or, they hear the sound of the audience. That is a thing where crowds will make a noise when pressure is coming, and guys can play off of that. But Ward notices that he steps up, just adds a little bit more time to ultimately find the guy he wants to hit and pick up a first down. Again, that's a high level play. You don't get, like, backup quarterbacks don't make that play, right? You have to be, those are starter caliber plays, if not more than that. Honestly, those are star caliber plays, really, if you can do that consistently. And he was doing it consistently in this game. And also, he just had some drop back or some pure runs. This is a design quarterback run. Goes up and gets a touchdown here. This one on 4th and 7 scrambles up, picks up the first down right there. So some nice rushes as well. Doing a lot of stuff really well with his legs. That's such an important aspect of his game, and he can do that. Heading over here, there is one drawback with that, and I do think he sometimes takes too many sacks. I think that's an aspect of his game that he does need to work on. You see right here, Seattle showing pressure. Ward is going to take the snap. Pressure is getting there, and at this point, what do you do? I mean, no checkdowns on this play. Really, ideally, you would want to see him throw it down the field, give a receiver a chance on 3rd and 8. At the same time, though, I kind of get why he doesn't want to, because, again, this hasn't been a great receiving core. They don't really have a number one right now, in my opinion, with all due respect to the guys they do have. Just Calvin Ridley hasn't been there this season, so, it just hasn't been good this season, so, they wanted him to be number one. He is not, and now there's some struggles. So I kind of get why Ward's trying to do too much here. Ultimately, though, that is what he does. He takes a sack, which you don't like. Again, even if it's just field position and he could have thrown it away, he could have thrown it 2 feet in front of him, and it would have been incomplete because he had an eligible receiver right in front of his face. So you would have at least liked that for field position perspective. Things you want to work on. But again, this is where it's like the Titans aren't doing a great job at putting him in a position to succeed. He's learning wrong lessons. He's learning, when a team blitzes and there's one-on-one matchups, I should try and scramble because that's what's working. You would rather him say, okay, I have to throw it down the field because that's what works, because you have a receiver who can make a play. I will say, though, going over to a play like this, 3rd down and 9, obvious passing situation, I think he does fine in obvious passing situations when the play works. That doesn't happen too often with this Titans offense, but when it does happen, I think he does a fine job, and especially in this game, he did a fine job. It's 3rd down and 9. You have a receiver trying to get into a gap in coverage. Watch Cam Ward takes the snap. Seattle drops back, but doesn't matter. Ward's able to make the throw quickly. They pick up a big gain there. That's not an easy play. Obvious passing situation, making it work, and that's exactly what Cam Ward did. So, yeah, I mean, listen, again, I think that the comparisons to Drake May's rookie year with the Patriots are not bad comparisons. Of course I get it. I made that comparison myself. So, I think that probably is a good comp. But I don't know if Drake May had a game as good as Cam Ward had in this one. This was a really good performance from Cam Ward. I'm sure Drake May did, but this was one to hang your hat on. He had shown flashes, signs of life in certain games. This was, I think, the first time we really saw him just put together a good quarterback performance for 4 quarters. And granted, still had a passer rating of 91 in the game because the rest of his team couldn't fully help him out, although some guys did make plays in this one as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I mean, again, Tony Pollard was the number one running back for this team. He had 20 yards on 11 carries. That's 1.8 yards per carry. Cam Ward had 37 yards. He was significantly the leading rusher in this game on top of all this stuff. So that's an issue. Got to figure stuff out. But, at least Cam Ward has played well. That's the silver lining of a rough season for the Titans. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.